Hello and welcome to the GCSE Physics tutorial for topic P4 Atomic Structure. This tutorial will look at part 4, nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. First of all, nuclear fission. This is a nuclear reaction that involves splitting an unstable nucleus, and this releases a lot of energy. The example that you will need to know is when a slow-moving neutron is absorbed by a large unstable nucleus of uranium-235. The nucleus then splits into two smaller nuclei and also three neutrons. These three neutrons then go on to split more uranium nuclei, and this is called a chain reaction. Nuclear fission produces a lot of energy, and it's this reaction and the chain reaction that it creates that provides energy in a nuclear power station. Now, in a nuclear power station, the reaction has to be controlled because you don't want the chain reaction to get out of control. This is a nuclear reactor, and you can see the nuclear rods are inside the reactor. This would all be underground, and the nuclear rods, or the uranium rods, are not moved. Instead, to control the reaction, you would have things called control rods. So these are normally made of the substance of boron. These would be lowered into the reactor or moved out to control the reaction, and they absorb excess neutrons if the reaction is getting too hot. Also, nuclear reactors are controlled by a moderator, which is normally water, which slows down the neutrons enough to be able to pass into the uranium-235. Another reaction is nuclear fusion. Now, this is also a nuclear reaction that releases energy, but instead, this involves the fusing of nuclei. The example you will need to know is that two nuclei of hydrogen, so this is normal hydrogen and an isotope of hydrogen, hydrogen 2, fuse together to form a nucleus of helium. This releases a lot of energy and has to be done at high temperatures and high pressure. This is not something that we can recreate here on Earth, but it is a reaction that happens in the sun, and it produces a lot of energy. If you pause the tutorial now and attempt this 6-mark question. So this question is quite popular to compare nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. First of all, don't forget to say the things they have in common. So they're both nuclear reactions and they both release energy. Nuclear fission, that involves splitting the nucleus, and it talks about breaking it up to make two smaller nuclei and creating a chain reaction. And this is used in power stations. Nuclear fusion is the opposite of nuclear fission, and that involves fusing together the nuclei, for example, hydrogen nuclei to form helium. And again, this releases energy, but more energy than fission. And this occurs in the sun, and it requires high temperatures and high pressures. So in summary, we've looked at nuclear fission and nuclear fusion.